Hey, what's up guys? Rob here, and I'm back with a brand new Movies That I Watched This Week video. Now, I got this idea from Julie Cassidy over there at Let's Talk Movies on her YouTube channel. Go subscribe to her, because she does the same thing. She does Monday to Friday, I do Monday to Sunday. And, it's just basically movies that I watch during the week. I try to at least watch 2. Now, I never counted the 31 Days of Horror Challenge. Now, as you know, in October I did a review every day. Now, a lot of those were older reviews that I had new edits for, so I just went ahead and uploaded those. Some are new, but I didn't put those in my weekly watches because I wanted to save those for other, I want to save for other films. So, I try to keep it at least 2 movies a day and strictly horror when it comes to October. And I did, but for this week, I went from horror to like action thriller to comedies, because I wanted to switch it up. Now that Halloween is done, I'm going to start to review different kinds of films. I'm also going to be taking requests, which I will talk about at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But we're going to talk about October 26th, Monday, through November 1st, Sunday. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, by the time you see this, it'll probably be Tuesday. But yeah, I'm going to go through the list of movies that I watched during the week. Hope you enjoy. Let's start with October 26th, Monday. I watched From Dusk Till Dawn. Love this movie. Great cast. You got George Clooney, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, and Quentin Tarantino himself. Directed by Robert Rodriguez. So, very, very good movie. Just to let you guys know, I'm going to be reviewing these movies as well. Like, this is not a review video. This is just basically a list video where I just show you what I watched. So, but expect reviews of these. The next one I watched on Monday, Cloverfield. One of my favorite found footage films next to Blair Witch Project. But it's a monster movie. That's what it is. A lot of people say, well, it's the American version of Godzilla. We've already had that. This is nowhere near, you can't compare this to Godzilla. It's not anything close to that, okay? It's a very, very different movie, a very different creature. You could say it's secretive. There's a lot of secrets with this film, so. Moving on to Tuesday, October 27th, I watched Get to the Chopper! Do it! Do it now! Kill me! I'm right here! Kill me! Dylan! You son of a bitch! I always love that sound when they put their hands together. Predator is a classic, okay? Sci-fi horror with this one creature that takes on an entire army of these guys, these misfit guys, okay? I love the way these guys are, like the way they kind of characterize these guys together, and they all have their unique, attributes about them. Fantastic movie. The next one I watched that day on Tuesday is Cujo. I haven't seen this in a while, but with Dee Wallace and, compared to like Jamie Lee Curtis, Dee Wallace has a lot of horror movies under her belt. Most people say, well, Dee Wallace is the mom from E.T. She's more than that. Dee Wallace is more than that. She's been in a lot of horror movies. That's why I loved her so much in that Hansel and Gretel adaptation where she played the witch. She was excellent. But this movie made me afraid of dogs, just like Jaws made me afraid of sharks or going into the ocean. Yeah, I mean, I'm a dog lover, don't get me wrong. I've had a dog all my life. Cocker Spaniels, Shih Tzu. I've had the small dogs. I haven't had any like St. Bernards or anything like that. But yeah, this movie is terrifying. It really is. Moving on to Wednesday, October 28th, I watched Judgment Night. Now, Julie, if you're watching, this is my #1 recommendation to you, and this is also Thomas's favorite, HorrorFan34. About guys who go to a boxing match, they get off the interstate to take a shortcut, and they end up in the bad neighborhoods of Chicago, and I can relate. I've been there. I've been in the bad neighborhoods of Philly, okay? you can get shot for just looking at somebody. The thing is, I can relate to that. They witness a murder. These guys who see them witness a murder don't want to leave any loose ends, so these guys start getting chased by these criminals and drug lords, and it's a cat and mouse game. Fantastic. Emilio Estevez, you got Jeremy Piven, you got Dennis Leary, Cuba Gooding Jr. Just great movie. Fantastic. Never stops. It never. You can't say that you're bored watching that movie. It just doesn't happen. The next one that I watched on Wednesday is The Haunting of Morella. This is a movie I used to rent back in the day on VHS all the time with Nicole Eggert from Charles in Charge or Baywatch. She plays a woman who's being possessed by her wicked stepmother, Morella. And she was guilty of witchcraft. It has to do with like witches and adultery and murder and stuff like that. But yeah, they're trying to... Morella is trying to like live in her, and she's trying to be resurrected. Kind of a creepy movie. The good thing about this, you could call this like an artsy-fartsy kind of film, but I think it's done right. And there's some creepy images in here too. It's one of those, like I said, haunted house movies mixed with like witchcraft stuff. So, I love that movie. Alright, next. October 29th, Thursday, I watched Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale. I like this movie. I don't care. Stephen Sommers did this. It is cheesy. Some of the effects aren't very good, but Hugh Jackman is awesome as Van Helsing. And I liked some of the fights and the creatures in this. I love the vampire, the vampire women in this. And Dracula was even cool too. Alan Silvestri did the music to this. Alan Silvestri did the music to, I believe, this movie too. Judgment Night, he did. I love Alan Silvestri. He does some fantastic music. But yeah, this movie is not as bad as people say. I'm sorry. It's got a lot of action, and Hugh Jackman is just awesome. The other one I watched on Thursday, where I kind of switched it up a little bit, but I had to watch this again because it's been a while since I've seen it. And, I've always remembered liking this movie. It has Joanna Cassidy in it. Let's see, Josh Charles, Christina Applegate. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Yeah, it's Home Alone ×5. I always remember that cover with the legs sticking up out of the ground, and then everyone's on the porch acting like it's no big deal. Yeah. Christina Applegate, this is the movie that basically got me into, her as an actress, pretty much. But yeah, I think she was also in, wasn't she also in Married with Children, I think? But I never really used to watch that show a lot. Anyway, so that's what I watched on Thursday. Moving on to Friday, October 30th. Alex and Thomas, they pretty much knew I watched this because I was watching this when I was still this was after the stream, so I was watching this pretty late. Employee of the Month with Jessica Simpson, Dax Shepard, and Dane Cook. This is probably one of my favorite Dane Cook films. About the supermarket, or not the supermarket, but the store where they they're going for Employee of the Month, and Dane Cook is going head to head with Dax Shepard on, being Employee of the Month by doing like the cashier stuff and trying to compete for Jessica Simpson's heart. And it's a very, very good film. It's very funny, but yeah, it's from the producer of Wedding Crashers, so very fun. The other comedy that I watched is Wild Hogs. This is a great... I always wish they'd do a sequel to this movie. I don't know why they never did. Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy. You also have Ray Liotta, Marissa Tomei. Ray Liotta is great in this movie, but yeah, basically about friends who are bikers, who are taking a trip, and they run into these other bikers who don't like them, and they cause trouble for them. So you know, in the third act, they basically go head to head and have fights and stuff. It's pretty. I mean, this is a hilarious movie. They're basically like suburban bikers. That's what they are. Moving on to Saturday. Now, this was kind of like a fun day. Like I said, you know, Saturday, Halloween. I watched a movie with my kids, but I watched these films as well, and I just decided to add these films into this day. Because the movie that I watched, scary, was Halloween. And, you know, I did that review for that day, so I'm not going to add it to this. But the other films I did watch are just funny, and they're some of my favorites. So the first one I watched is Jack. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Only Robin Williams could play a guy who is acting like a kid, or basically a kid trapped in a man's body. How would he act? Well, Robin Williams, in my opinion, is the only one that could pull it off, and sure enough, he did. This movie, I think this movie is underrated. Francis Ford Coppola directed this, and I love the direction it goes. It's got a lot of stars in this. You have Diane Lane, Jennifer Lopez, Fran Drescher, Brian Kerwin, and Bill Cosby. I don't know what you want to say about Bill Cosby, but, you know, I used to watch The Cosby Show back then before all this stuff about him doing things to women. You know, none of that ever came up. So, but I was a fan of Bill Cosby. But anyway, great movie. I love the music to this, the soundtrack. But yeah, no one ever talks about Jack. Now, this is a nostalgia film that I wanted to watch because I always laugh at this, and I always think that this movie is just a lot of fun. And this is my favorite one of the series, Three Ninjas. You know, about these kids who are learning to be ninjas from their grandfather, who is also Victor Wong, who played what was his name in Chang's store or whatever in Tremors. He was the one that ran the store and got eaten by one of the graboids. So he teaches the kids how to be ninjas, and it's like Home Alone, kind of, where these guys break into their house and they do like ninja stuff. Like, I don't know, I like all the fight choreography in this movie. And then you have the guy in the third act who reminds me of Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3. You know, he fights like him. He's got the ponytail and all that stuff. Anyway, great movie. I just have a lot of fun with it. So the last day, Sunday, I made it a Schwarzenegger day, okay? And I watched two movies, one of which I haven't seen in a long time. And this is kind of like on his lower rated films, kind of down a little bit, and it is The Sixth Day. Now, I remember when I first saw this movie, I didn't really care for it. It's about cloning, and it's interesting. I don't know, the futuristic stuff, you know, it's fine. Some of the CG I don't think holds up as well, or some of the effects, but I actually didn't mind it. I actually like the cast. I mean, you got Tony Goldwyn, Michael Rooker, you got Robert Duvall, Michael Rappaport, so very good cast. And this time around, I actually didn't mind this movie. I think maybe the more times you watch it, you might actually get more interested and invested. So, The Sixth Day, I thought it was pretty good. And then I ended with True Lies, an absolute masterpiece. I freaking love this. When it comes to James Cameron, this is definitely in my top 5. I just love this movie so much. This is another movie that I wish they would do a sequel to. They need to make another True Lies. I mean, now it's probably too late now, but they should have at the time. Jamie Lee Curtis and Schwarzenegger are so good together. They're so good. And Tom Arnold was great in this. I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Arnold, but he was great in this movie. And they still don't have a Blu-ray release for this. They don't have an official Blu-ray release for this yet, and I don't know what the hell's going on. 20th Century Fox, what the hell? Anyway, Even though this has bonus features on it, but there's nothing. It's just scene selection and trailer. You gotta have the trailer on it. Now lay on the bed and close your eyes. No, no, no. Done it wrong. Do it. Do small. Do it very slowly. Who can forget the Jamie Lee Curtis scene? You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, True Lies is what I ended with. And that's it. Yeah, pretty good amount of movies there. Some pretty good ones. Some, like I said, I needed to revisit. And some I just wanted to change things up and not just go fully horror. But I am going to be doing reviews of each of these films. And the films that I've done these past few weeks, these other weekly videos I've done, I'm going to be doing reviews of those too. So expect reviews. Now, what I want to mention really quick is that if you guys have requests of movies that you want me to review, let me know in the comments of this video if there's movies that you want me to review. Now, of course, I have to have seen the film. If I have not seen it yet, you have to give me time to watch it, or even make time to even try to, if I don't have the movie, you know, it's going to be harder. But list below if there's something that you want me to review. And what I will do is I will review that movie for you and give you kind of like a, well, I'll acknowledge that you wanted the review, but I'll also give you a shout out or whatever. So, that's what I thought I'd start to do. Since I'm done with the horror challenge and all that kind of stuff, I have actually more time for this. So, that's what I wanted to mention to end this video, is that if you guys have any requests of anything, any reviews you want to see, please let me know. And it doesn't have to be strictly one genre. It doesn't have to be horror. I mean, it can be anything. You know, it can be a Schwarzenegger film. It could be, hell, it could be a comedy. If you want me to review like the sequels to Three Ninjas or something, it can be anything, okay? Anything. Sky's the limit, okay? Even pornos. I haven't seen a lot of them, but you know what. Anyway, thanks for watching this. I'll be back with more reviews and more videos, more list videos and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.